Well, that almost made it worth it. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for another top 10 scenes that almost redeemed bad movies.
I know. You're a good boy.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at another batch of terrific scenes that really tried to make a film that's generally considered terrible worth the price of admission. If there's a scene you think we missed, be sure to check out our first video that covers scenes that almost made certain movies watchable. Since some of these scenes are climaxes to these films, we'll be redeeming ourselves with this spoiler warning. Number 10. Fencing, Die Another Day.
Let's do this the old-fashioned way. First blood drawn from the torso.
What, you've never had an all-out brawl that stretched across an entire social club before? Apparently 007 is on a whole new level of fencing. It's not just the crazy battle between Bond and Gustav Graves that stands out in this film, but the completely dismissive attitude afterwards. You'd think after grabbing swords and throwing punches that the two men wouldn't be as calm as they are, but with a simple laugh, Graves declares Bond the winner, and everyone goes about their business. Too bad, because for the duration of the fight, we thought the film had actually found its footing.
Seems you beat me, Mr. Bond.
Number 9. It Was Tuesday, Street Fighter.
It was 20 years ago. You hadn't promoted yourself to general yet. You were just a petty drug lord.
Remember when we still had hopes for video game adaptations? Alright, maybe we never really had those. But in the catalog of disappointing video game adaptations, the Street Fighter one has at least one shining moment. Raul Julia's performance as the power-mad dictator M. Bison.
Of course!
This character alone makes the movie worth watching, as every Bison scene is more entertaining than the last.
Not for power, not for evil, but for good.
But nothing compares to his response to the captured Chun-Li's seething hatred for him. He remarks that her father's death was merely a Tuesday.
For you, the day Bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Number 8. Maelstrom Climax, Pirates of the Caribbean, At World's End. Most people would try and sail away from a maelstrom, but we guess having a climactic battle and an impromptu wedding during one work too.
I'm a little busy at the moment!
There's a lot to keep track of in the third installment of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, and honestly, not a whole lot of it makes sense. But the final battle does make for a spectacular pirate throwdown. With the cannons blazing and the swords clashing in a downpour of unstoppable rain, it's a perfect combination of what you've come to expect from these movies. Over-the-top action that puts a smile on your face, until you try and remember what the heck is going on. Number 7. The Final Chase, The Lone Ranger. An updated Lone Ranger isn't something we were exactly clamoring to see on the big screen, especially if it was going to look like this.
Horse dead.
I can see that. Now what?
There is at least one good scene in the movie. Unfortunately, it's at the very end. After 2 hours of questionable casting choices, dull humor, and unremarkable action, we finally get something that's worth a bit of excitement. The titular Lone Ranger goes riding across buildings on horseback, jumps onto a train and barely makes it into the tunnel, then engages in a shootout while still riding on horseback inside a train. Yeah, just fast forward until you hear that iconic theme. Number 6. The Trailer Rescue, The Lost World, Jurassic Park. The Lost World, also known as Poor Choices, the movie.
Are you hungry? Take a bite. It's roast beef. It's good. Come on, I won't hurt you.
Because yes, let's go on the island where the dinosaurs were created. That's definitely a genius idea.
Oh yeah, that's how it always starts. But then later there's running and screaming.
And while we're there, let's take this injured baby T-Rex back to our trailer, attracting the attention of its parents. At least we get a kick-ass scene out of it. From the slowly crackling glass as Sarah tries to stand up, to the dangling trailer that falls while our heroes hold on for dear life, every second had us on the edge of our seats. Number 5. Harley Quinn's introduction, Suicide Squad.
I should kill everyone and escape? Sorry. The voices.
DC had a pretty rough 2016, as both Batman vs Superman and Suicide Squad were met with rather mediocre responses. But one thing that most agreed on was Margot Robbie's portrayal as Harley Quinn. Okay, bad writing meant that got mixed reviews too.
Huh? What was that?
But her intro was pretty fun, right? From the cage dancing to delighting in Mr. J killing a guy, it's a pretty solid portrayal of Quinn.
Come on, Puddin'! Do it!
Only to be interrupted by Batman because of course he just had to ruin a date night. It's a glimpse of the craziness of the couple, even if the rest of the movie glosses over the whole abusive psychopath thing.
Oh, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna hurt you. Really, really bad.
You think so? Well, I can take it.
Number 4. The Forest Fight, Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. You know it's a bad sign when the lead actor and director essentially admit that the movie is, quote, crap, unquote.
Break down the elemental components of energy on a single constant K rating, extrapolate reach of the 14 galactic convergences took the Sentinel Prime expedition receiving.
This film is basically the equivalent of a kid grabbing 2 robots and smashing them into each other while sprinkling in bad one-liners at every chance they get because comedy, right? Oh, and don't forget girls.
Sam?
Michaela.
Is that your girlfriend?
That being said, the forest fight is definitely something to write home about. Optimus Prime does what he does best, kicking Decepticon butt despite being completely outnumbered.
I'll take you all on.
It's exactly what you want out of a Transformers movie, complete with the heroic, albeit temporary, death of Optimus Prime.
You're so weak.
Number 3. Snake Eyes and Jinx vs. Ninjas, G.I. Joe Retaliation. Honestly, we're not sure how we got a sequel after the first film, but hey, at least this one got one scene right. You definitely have to turn your brain off for this fight sequence, as it completely abandons the laws of physics in favor of some admittedly fun over-the-top action. A battle against ninjas via ziplining through mountains? Check. Running along the mountainside for slow-motion sword fights, like video game characters waiting for reaction commands? Check. Surviving an avalanche that you purposely caused with your cargo intact as if nothing happened? All we can say is, yo, Joe. Number 2, 1,000 Miles, White Chicks. Yeah, this was a thing that happened. We're not entirely sure why.
What you looking at my ass for? Nah, yo, hold my poodle. Hold my poodle. Hey, yo, what's up? Y'all got a problem?
It did, however, grant us one unforgettable gift. Terry Crews singing Vanessa Carlton's 1,000 Miles. After the Wayans brothers fudge up the lyrics because the song is apparently the national anthem for white girls.
Oh my god! It's our jam!
This is our jam.
Terry Crews' character stuns the world with his passionate rendition of the tune.
Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces past and I'm homebound.
This moment was so iconic that the actor would later perform it on Lip Sync Battle, complete with interpretive dance. You know what? Just watch the lip sync performance and save yourself the trouble of watching the movie.
And I need you, and I miss you, and now I wonder.
before we give out that final "You Tried" sticker, let's check out these honorable mentions. Number 1. The Light Cycles, Tron Legacy. Eye candy at its very best, there's not much to this movie when it comes to story and character.
You're Mr. Flynn? Why?
But man, is it ever a visual masterpiece. This scene encapsulates the very best parts of the film, as Sam watches those iconic light cycles in action. As cool as it is to see them digitize into the grid, it's Sam's slow-motion run accompanied by Daft Punk's fantastic soundtrack that really sets the tone for the best 3 minutes of this Tron sequel. The twists and turns, the hard hits, the clever teamwork, all of it creates a scene you'll definitely want to watch on repeat. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.